Look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world.
This is the Wrestling Matters podcast where we stand up for professional wrestling.
Here we fucking go! Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Make it till death! Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line! Cause Stone Cold Simpson!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is me, that H-E-A-D. Wow, I nearly messed that up. Back with you for another installment of a Wcpw podcast. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are well and whatever it is you are doing. Hope you guys enjoyed Wcpw. As I'm recording this right now, the second episode of Loaded of the new year has just ended. And I am about to record this right now and give you my review and opinion. What Culture Pro Wrestling. This edition of Loaded kicked off with B. Priestley taking on Little Miss Roxxy. Now, Little Miss Roxxy is a lady that I have been looking forward to seeing, quite frankly, because I've been told a lot of good things about her. However, this didn't end well. B. Priestley wins with a low blow and help from the Swords of Essex. And then Parmesan comes out and Pacitti with Bully Ray and threatens to put Miss Roxxy through a table unless Adam Pacitti gets what he wants, and that's his job back. He wants an opportunity to get his job back, and Mr. Parmesan gets what he wants. It would come back to haunt him, though. Anyway, BT Gunn made his debut in WCPW. I'm guessing that this is where he's gone since losing that casket match in ICW, but he went one-on-one with Travis Banks. Travis Banks manages to get a loss. BT ends up winning. Highlight of the match was Travis Banks doing a Austin Aries-like dive through the ropes, but he took out BT Gunn, but in the process takes out the front row with him because he lands right into the guardrail, and the guardrails bend over towards the fans and nearly takes them out. It was just hilarious and very intense, and I would imagine very intense for the people sitting in the front row. But Banks makes one mistake and gets caught, and Pacitti, Banks rather, so I've got Pacitti on my mind at the moment due to more on him later. Banks gets caught with a cutter from the second rope, like if he was jumped right into an RKO, and then BT ends up hitting a corkscrew DDT like brainbuster move. In a way, it was kind of a version of the how can I put this? It was kind of a version of the curtain call that Goldust uses, but it was effective and it got him the victory. And during the match is one of the reasons why I despise Dave Bradshaw so much, because he said coming up later on, Adam Pacitti goes one-on-one with Bully Ray. Why is he... No, I literally do not like Dave Bradshaw. It's not even funny. After the match, BT then puts a crossface on Banks, and BT looks to permanently injure Travis Banks. However, Doug Williams, of all people, saves the day. Now, there was a strong style tag team involving Banks and Pete Dunne, but Pete Dunne's no longer with the company anymore. He's in WWE. So maybe there's something new there, or something brewing there as well. After a stupid musical chairs match, Rampage finally comes out and puts an end to it and has his chairs match with Primate in their Best of 7 series, and just literally, and I mean literally, destroys him. And he ends up winning the match due to chair shots to the head, because Primate's head was caught at the side of the ring post, and Rampage used it as a concerto, if you will. Let's go say that. Hitting Primate with the chair, sandwiching Primate's head between the chair and the ring post, which he did that about 3 to 4 times, completely knocking out Primate, and Primate gets the loss. So in this series right now, this Best of 7 series, it is now 2 apiece. And I can only imagine what's going to take place next, to be honest. And it doesn't look good. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't look good. It was a back and forth match, no doubt, but that pretty much killed it. It was a back and forth match which was dominated mostly by Rampage, but Rampage just, like I say, destroys him, and it just ends right there and then. Galloway had a message for Ospreay as well. Also Joe Henry too, because apparently they're going to be meeting for the WCPW title next week. Cody Rhodes defended the WCPW Internet Championship against one Marty Scurll, who is the current Ring of Honor World Television Champion as well. Cody manages to counter the chicken wing and hits the crossroads with for the victory to retain. But Marty played a hell of a role in this match. Great wrestling match. A great match for what they had on the show, and Marty almost came close to winning the match and almost won it with crossroads as well. But Cody Rhodes still WCPW Internet Champion, and I can only imagine what's going to be taking place in terms of that. I would imagine there's a lot of people, a lot of wrestlers lining up to fight Cody Rhodes for that belt. It's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out in terms of Cody Rhodes being the WCPW Internet Champion and who's going to line up, if you will, to challenge him for that belt. And plus the fact that Cody Rhodes is now a member of the Bullet Club. And he had a Bullet Club logo at the beginning of his Titan run too. So there you go. Plus Bullet Club for life. I don't know why he doesn't say for life, because he just goes straight into his song. But anyway, Joe Henry got challenged earlier on in the evening to a Mount Evans match, or I believe it's a Mount Evans rules match with Doug Williams, which is basically, ladies and gentlemen, a 6 rounds, 5 minute apiece World of Sport match, what they used to do back in the day. But Joe manages to get two straight falls within 3 rounds and wins the match. It was great for what it was, but, one mistake by Doug Williams, which caught, I think he injured his ankle. And then Joe Henry saw the moment and just thought, I'm taking this, and beats him with the ankle lock and gets, like I said, 2 straight falls and beats him within 3 rounds. Just a nothing match, really. Nothing really exciting about that match, to be honest, but hey, it was what it was. Martin Kirby versus Bully Ray to end things, and all Bully wanted to do at the beginning of it was just talk, but the match finally got underway. Bully was dominant, he had him beat, and then Arnn Pacitti comes in, looks to hit Martin with the clothesline him with the steel chain that Bully brought out, misses, hits Bully, and Martin Kirby hits the rocket dropper and gets the victory. And boy oh boy, was Bully Ray not happy with Arnn Pacitti. Tries to grab him, even Martin gets involved on it, looks to powerbomb him through the table that was set in the ring during the match, but Arnn Pacitti managed to get away. Also, he thought, because next thing you know, most of the roster involving Ricochet, Gabriel K, Prince Ameen, and even Cody Rhodes, the Internet Champion, because Cody Rhodes came out with Arnn Pacitti on his shoulder and feeds him to Bully Ray, and basically Bully Ray Dixie Carters him, which basically it just puts him through the table, just like what he did to Dixie Carter in TNA. He did it to Arnn Pacitti and lays out Arnn Pacitti, and then shakes Martin Kirby's hand and shows him respect. So basically, Martin Kirby is still your What Culture Pro Wrestling general manager, much to the dismay of one Arnn Pacitti. But that about wraps this up for this podcast, guys, this little podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you guys have enjoyed the WCPW podcast. Tune in to episode 148 this coming week of the Wrestling Matters podcast, and you'll probably hear this on the podcast as well. And until next week, guys, my name is Anthony Walker. For the Wrestling Matters channel, AJW Wrestling Matters, and SoundCloud.com/Wrestling_Matters_podcast. Download for free. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of the week. Peace.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Professional wrestling, this is it. This is us standing up. Yes, 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 yes. Yes! That's 13-14!
Till death!
Dina?
I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.